When a man finally steps back, something shifts instantly. Modern women begin testing him harder than ever before. It's not a sign of deeper interest. It's a reaction to the insecurity your silence forces them to confront. The moment you stop reacting, you stop feeding the emotional system they've relied on to stay in control. And when that control slips, they push even harder just to see if they can still influence you. Your distance disrupts the pattern they're used to manipulating, and that disruption creates panic they won't admit. These tests aren't about connection. They're about confirming whether they still hold power over your emotions. Today, I'm breaking down the real psychology behind why women test you the most when they sense they've lost access to you. And more importantly, how staying calm, stoic, and centered is exactly what flips the entire dynamic in your favor. Number 2. She needs to confirm you still want her, without admitting it. Most modern women will never come out and directly ask, "Do you still care?" Because admitting that exposes vulnerability they're not willing to show. Instead, they rely on subtle emotional pokes to see if you'll chase after them the way you used to. She'll pull back, go cold, or suddenly become distant just to watch how you respond. She'll send mixed signals or bring up old issues to spark a reaction and measure your investment. Every argument, every mood swing, every strange shift in energy is just a disguised temperature check to see if she still matters to you. The moment she senses you slipping away, the testing intensifies because your silence forces her to confront the possibility of losing control. She's not trying to connect, she's trying to confirm. That's the part most men overlook. The test isn't about truth, it's about reassurance. The less you react, the more obvious her intentions become. And when you stay truly unmoved and unbothered, it tells her everything she needs to know, without you ever having to say a word. Number 3. Losing you raises her value for you. When a man finally pulls his energy back, something shifts in a way most women never expect. Suddenly, the same attention she once ignored becomes valuable, almost urgent, because losing access to you forces her to reevaluate everything she assumed. This is the power of scarcity, and it hits harder when a woman realizes the supply of your presence isn't guaranteed anymore. When you were consistent, she treated you like a constant, something she didn't have to earn or appreciate. But the moment you became distant, silent, or simply uninterested, her curiosity spiked and her behavior changed. Now she's watching, questioning, and testing because she needs to know why her value judgment didn't line up with your reaction. This isn't about love or connection, it's about psychology and ego. She wants to understand how something she once saw as replaceable suddenly feels rare. Your distance disrupts her internal narrative, and that disruption creates pressure. And in that pressure, she starts testing you even harder, trying to figure out whether she misread you or lost a man who was worth far more than she realized. Number 4, your detachment reveals her real intentions. When you finally detach, something powerful happens. Her real intentions rise to the surface, whether she planned for them to or not. The games, the mixed signals, and the emotional confusion all fade because your silence forces her to reveal what she was truly after the whole time. Some women only tested you to get attention, and when you stop giving it, their entire act collapses instantly. Others were testing you while deciding if they should replace you, and your distance exposes how quickly they were willing to move on. A woman's reaction to your calm becomes a psychological spotlight on her character. If she respects you, she moves with clarity and maturity. If she only used you for validation, she panics, lashes out, or tries to create chaos to pull you back in emotionally. That's the beauty of detachment. It shows you the truth without you having to say a word. Your peace becomes the filter that separates genuine interest from hidden selfishness. And once you see the difference, you realize why detachment is the strongest move a man can make. Number 5. A man with boundaries feels like a challenge she can't beat. When a man finally sets real boundaries, something shifts in the dynamic. Because modern women aren't used to dealing with a man who won't bend just to keep their attention. Most men fold the moment they're pressured, reacting emotionally or lowering their standards just to avoid conflict. But a disciplined man stands firm. Women test you harder when you refuse to break because your stability exposes their instability. They don't know how to handle a man who won't chase, won't panic, and won't negotiate his self-respect. Your silence, your calmness, and your lack of emotional desperation challenge the exact tactics they rely on. When you stay unbothered, she realizes she can't control the narrative the way she could with weaker men. And when she sees that her usual tests don't move you, her frustration grows. The harder she pushes, the more obvious it becomes that she's losing access to you. And deep down, she knows she can't beat a man who's mastered himself. And that's exactly why the tests intensify right before she breaks. When a woman realizes she can't influence you anymore, her behavior changes fast, and that shift reveals everything you need to know about her true intentions. The moment you detach emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, you stop feeding the dynamic she once relied on, and that's when the testing begins. Modern women are thrown off by a man who stays solid, grounded, and unmoved because they're used to men who react instead of lead. Your calm exposes insecurities she can't hide, and your silence highlights the value she didn't appreciate until it was gone. Nothing frustrates a woman more than losing access to a man who finally recognizes his worth. And that's why the tests increase, right before she realizes she's lost access to you for good. If the message hit, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.